Welcome to Mentorship Matters, a podcast where we actually talk about the impact of mentorship on not just ourselves, but everyone that we impact. So this month is National Mentorship Month. And so we decided, my name is Joohong, by the way. I'm a big here at Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And joining me is Kayla Winters, also a big. You can say hello.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and I am a big. I've been a big for 5.5 years now, and I'm super excited to be here with Joohong doing our takeover because it is National Mentoring Month, which is very exciting. So we're
Yes.
ready to jump into the Bigs experience and sharing a little bit more with you guys.
Yes, our big takeover.
Our literally big
Yeah.
takeover.
For those who don't know, in this organization of Big Brothers Big Sisters, we call all of our mentors bigs, and then all of our mentees are littles. And actually, great place to start, I feel like. If Kayla, you want to just talk a little bit about like how you even became a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters as a volunteer, and then we can talk about the more other interesting things after.
Cool. Sounds good. So I became a big when I moved back to Orange County. Something that they ask is for like a year-long commitment. And so when I was in college, I was really interested in becoming a big, but I was just like not in like a place where I was ready yet. And then I ended up moving back to Orange County, and I was like, now is my time. It was the pandemic, and I loved working with youth. But what really stood out to me with Big Brothers Big Sisters is the community aspect, and then also like the one-on-one connection that you get to have with youth, and the power of working one-on-one. What about you? What inspired you to become a big?
So, Big Brothers Big Sisters was an organization that I found out about through someone else who their stepmom was actually like working at one of the offices. And when she kind of described it to me, she's like, yeah, it's like one-on-one mentorship, and you like mentor youth. And at the time, I think I was like just starting college. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting, but not right now. Like, I have a lot of other things going on. Fast forward, and in college, I was getting ready to do my like capstone project for my degree, and one of the things they had us do was volunteering. And I was like, "Oh, great, perfect! I love volunteering. Like, I have a history of volunteering." And when I was looking at the different things you could do, one of the things actually was Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I felt like in that moment, it was like this was my call to action. This was the thing that like stood out to me. It was like, "You must do this now." And so what I ended up doing is then I reached out, and then I found out about the year-long commitment, and I was like, well, my capstone project ends in like 6 months or whatever. So,
Not quite.
but I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
And so that's kind of how I got introduced to it. Always looking for ways to like add value or like impact someone else. And usually when I talk with other bigs or even just potential bigs, I always just like talk about how if you had ever imagined like early on in your life or maybe even now like if you just had someone like who was in your corner who instead of like saying every time you had something interesting or something you were excited about going, nah, that might not work out, well maybe you should think about this, well maybe this, like having someone who actually was just like, you know what, like let's look at that and let's see what could come of it, and like if you really want to do this, let's look at how we can make it successful. So yeah, that part. I don't know. I guess like what things are you looking for as far as mentorship, impact? What are the things that kind of drew you to volunteering? I guess, and in this way specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. I had done a lot of work in college, working with youth in elementary schools, and it was always like big group settings. And, working with kids in schools, like you see them every day, their parents. And I was working at a low income school at the time. So you know that their home situation isn't necessarily always the best. And I remember having someone share with me that, you're not necessarily like you can't save them. You can't do everything for them, even though your heart might be calling to wanting to show up for them. And it was even harder in these bigger group situations because you have 30 kids, let's say. And so something that really, again, stood out for me with Big Brothers Big Sisters is like that one-on-one connection that you can really get deeper with a little and be able to really see them, not just for like that year or, you know, this is like really at least for me, like now with my little, like this is like for a forever relationship. This is a forever connection of like me being able to support and like cheer her on and hear all the ins and outs. And it was exactly what like that one person had said of like, you can't necessarily save them, but like what you can do is you can show up and you can be a part of their life, and on just like so much of a deeper level than what I had initially experienced working with kids. And so that's why when I heard about Big Brothers Big Sisters, I was like, I need to be a part of this. I want to be able to have that impact, that deeper, more personal and intimate connection and like way of support that I like wasn't able to provide previously, that gave me the opportunity. And also it's like so fun.
Sure,
you know,
yes,
like it's so fun. Like you get to be in some ways like a kid again. You get to be curious. You get, you know, I like had another big tell me about how their littles really into airplanes. They're like, I don't know anything about airplanes, but now I know all this stuff, you know? And so it's really cool to be able to have these just like whims of inspiration and direction that you would have not have necessarily as an adult like picked for yourself or said, oh, that's not for me. And now you've been exposed to like these whole new worlds that maybe like you love now, right? Or that you have interest in. So
True. I definitely have a deeper understanding of Roblox content. Like a game where and I feel, you know, like good segue into talking about our littles. But so my little is Jacob, as you know, and as all of you know now. And when we first met, he was 10 and just turned 11 like a month after we met. And I think just the other day he was like, oh yeah, well, just the other day, all the time we're talking, he's playing Roblox and everything. And he was telling me about like, yeah, there's this one game in there where like you have to like farm things, and then there's a seed you can buy, but you can only buy it at certain times. And I was like, well, what if you're in school? Like, what are you going to do? He's like, well, you know, okay, all right, yeah, sure, fine, let's go.
Spilling all the secrets.
I think, yes, all the secrets, yeah. And then I report back to him. No, I don't. That stays between us. But I think thinking about Jacob and kind of, you know, we talk about the impact, and we've talked a lot about the impact that we want to have on them. I would say one of the things that I've found is kind of like how you said, where there's a lot of things that you get out of it on this end and the impact they have on you. Where in the beginning of our match, like, you know, it's a little awkward in the beginning. You're like getting to know each other, and then they're a kid, and so you're like, you feel even more like, oh gosh, I don't know. Hopefully they like me. But one of the things is like I would always ask him for advice, and I was just like, hey, you know, I have this thing at work, and like I want to make this more fun, or how can I do this? And it's really cool to just like to think again like a child, like when you have all of the imagination and all of the, well, none of the like limits of what life can have and stuff. And so to your point, like I find that was probably like the biggest impact for me, was being able to like go back and get advice from, I guess, kind of maybe like a younger me, because the way that the matching happened, like I feel like they do a really good job of matching you with someone who you like, there's just this thing they feel like you're gonna vibe with. And it does feel like I'm mentoring like a younger version of myself through him. But what would you say is like probably one of the biggest impacts like you that your little is, and also introduce your little too. My little is Annalise. So as I mentioned, we've been matched for 5.5 years now. So I didn't realize that you and Jacob met when he was 10, because I also met my little when she was 10, which was like cute. And so they're like tiny.
Like, they are.
They really them now.
It's so fun like looking back on pictures and just like seeing like the physical growth of them, and then also being able to like know them on like that personal level, and then the growth of the relationship too, right? And like then the growth in you, right? There's so many pieces and levels of growth that you get to see over that period. It is so awesome. So I was 23 when I first got matched. And so I was much different than I am now. And so is my little, right? She's now a sophomore in high school, running for like ASV vice president, she's so courageous. And I think that has been the biggest impact, for me, is like, I just really get to be a cheerleader for her. And I just get to be like, yeah, like, you're killing it, or like, oh my gosh, you're doing that, like, this is so cool. Like, one of the biggest points of pride, and I think there's something important too to recognize, like, every relationship between a big and a little is completely different.
True.
Every journey is different, so you can't necessarily like compare. But something that was like really cool is that my little has always amazed me. And I actually like recognize myself being like, are you sure you're doing okay? Like, you're doing a lot of things, you know? She's just incredible, really. To the point where like she was sharing with me all the things, and I was like, I really, like, as your mentor, I don't think I could tell you anything more that you could be doing to lead yourself on a path of success, which is just epic. And being able to like watch her just try new things and step into leadership and all of these things at such like a young age, it gets me even more excited for as she grows and develops further as a young adult. I'm like, you're set. You are set. If you are learning these lessons now. So I'm really proud of her, and it's just really, I feel like it fuels you when you are able to like pour in and like recognize all the good in a young person. It also holds you accountable to like hold that good and see that good within yourself too, and the people around you too, right? Like you can't just have that experience with this little, like, it really does bleed into your life, which I think has been like the biggest impact.
100%.
So, yeah.
And let me guess, you obviously had your whole life together, and you are like the epitome of life success and everything, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, especially starting at 23, 5.5 years later, everything's been peachy that whole time. Definitely not. I mean, and I think that's also like the beauty too, like, and something I didn't realize when I was getting into this, because of course you're like, I'm gonna be such like an amazing mentor, right? Like, you don't sign up for this being like, I'm gonna be a bad mentor,
Of
right?
course. Yeah, I hope not. Yes.
Yeah, hopefully not. But being able to just like recognize that it is like a fluid relationship, and it's gonna have its ebbs and flows, and I think the most important thing that you can do is like simply show up. Yeah. And like the value of that consistency of just showing up, even when I'm a mess, even maybe when I don't necessarily want to or I don't feel my best. I did never leave hanging out with her feeling worse than when I first started hanging out with her, right? Like, it's always something that's brought so much light and so much joy to my life, and I'm sure you feel similarly.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yes, no, 100%. And it's funny because I tell other bigs and people who are like, they're interested, because, you know, I got all my like big brothers, big sisters swag all the time, and they're like, oh, what is that? And so when I tell them, I'm just like, literally, it's just 2 times a month for like 2 or 3 hours at a time, and I have shown up in my car is a mess, my shorts, flip-flops, like, oh man, I pick him up, and this like in the beginning, and I'm like, oh man, you know, like, today's just been crazy. And actually it's awesome because he's actually given me grace, where he's like, oh, don't worry about it, and I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I mean, I still get it together, you know, like, I still want to show up nice, but like, I think that's like the honesty there of like, you literally just showing up. I mean, you know, within reason, obviously.
Absolutely.
But like, you can literally just show up, and sometimes getting that grace back from them, it's like when you like deposit it yourself, and you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe you didn't do so well on that test. Like, it's fine. Like, well, we can work on it if you want to, but like, you know, you're good. Like, as long as you did your best, right? Like, having that positive thing and then getting it back, and it's like, oh wow, this is what that feels like. This is nice. But yeah,
Hearing
awesome.
that makes me think of something that you've shared with me before. And it was like, we were talking about depression actually. And you were like, you are like, if you stay in bed or if you stay within like your funk, you're there's a 0% chance that you're going to get past this, right?
True.
But if you get out of bed and if you go out and whatnot, there's at least a 1% chance that you're going to be better, right?
Yeah. Well, that's very wise. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, I'm quoting this amazing Big of the Year.
Yes, last year.
But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
I think that that applies to mentoring as well, right? Like, it's going to be so much better than how it was for you and for the mentee.
True.
And it's just this beautiful, it's like the best snowballing effect possible, right? Like the snowball that you want.
Yes,
I feel like oftentimes snowballing effect might not be what you want. But this time this is the mentoring snowball that you want to be a part of that just like will for sure lead to greater and greater things in the mess, in the greatness, and all the things. It's been, I'm sure you feel just like one of the most beautiful like adventure side quest that has become like a main quest in my life, at least.
I like the video game reference. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. But yeah. Awesome. And actually also a great segue into kind of what I want to talk. Well, we should talk about next, which is our big collective.
Yes.
Because we have these
amazing
name tags.
Here.
Yes. So I kind of to like go back off of your point of just like that impact and then how we felt like, oh my gosh, like this is just awesome and the snowball effect of it. Obviously we are part of a big collective, which just for everybody out there, essentially it's a group collective of people, of mentors who wanted to kind of take it to the next level, but for other mentors, for other bigs. And I usually tell the story of it kind of happened kind of like how if you're an MCU fan, like the Avengers, where Kenny, amazing, who is our mentor success manager, had this idea, like Nick Fury, to bring together some amazing people of a group of already amazing people to come together to just kind of essentially like create things by bigs for other bigs. And so I'll talk a little bit about just kind of how I started to like kind of become a part of that, and then you can, and I'll pass it to you.
Sounds great.
But essentially, like for me, it was I have all this training experience, like having worked at Disney and all of these things, and I was like, you know what, and like all the life coaching, as we were both life coaches as well, and I was like, you know what can I do to like, I wanted to like train up other bigs, because you know you sign up and you're like, well, I don't know, I'm hoping I'm saying the right things or whatever. And so what I want to do is like help to build like trainings for bigs to be able to actually make a more intentional impact, because the impact you have is already amazing. It's just now like, all right, but I want to know like why am I so successful as a big? Was kind of like the thought behind it. And I know your story maybe kind of is similar, but I'll pass that to you.
Yeah. So I joined Big Brothers Big Sisters in the middle of the pandemic, so it was just a unique time for everybody. As we can
everything
say.
was fun. It was so normal. Everything was great.
and it definitely was like a different way of like becoming a big and like meeting your little and whatnot. And of course, like the community aspect with other bigs wasn't necessarily there. And that was something that actually really drew me to Big Brothers Big Sisters too, because I was like, cool, I'll be connected to a network of other adults who are really passionate about making an impact with youth. And with the pandemic and whatnot, it wasn't necessarily a thing yet. And then I got the email about the Big Collective being like, hey, are you interested in maybe joining this community and making, and I was like, yes, I want to get on this ASAP. I was like, want to be a part of this. And then I met with Kenny and I was like, this is everything that I wanted, needed, all the things. And then to have friendships like ours forged from it, like
True.
everyone with the collective, all the other bigs that I've been able to connect with on like a deeper level, has just been so amazing and was everything that I wanted in regards to like, not just supporting youth, but also to have that like community of other people going through similar things with mentorship, and just making an impact. So that was the main reason why I joined the Big Collective. But of course, trainings and match events and big socials, all those things has been like such an amazing fruit of all the hard work that we put into the collective. So
True. Yes. And kind of going off of that, I think one of the things that we really wanted to do was to make sure that we had that we do create spaces like the big coffee chats, which we just started, and is already doing really well. And even some people wandering in from other like meetup groups and going like, "Hey, what's going on over here? What is this?" And we're like, "Well, we're just a bunch of mentors hanging out, just chatting and you know, talking about things, whatever." And so like things like that, I think are really cool. And obviously, we have lots of ideas, like and. Of course, being bigs and littles, like there's so many word plays. Like I want to do like big networking. That's an idea. Things like that, just to like really help. But I think like with the coffee chats, it was really cool, and the big socials, which are great. It's just nice to like. I feel like kind of like how parents can only talk to other parents about what they're going through because they'll really understand it. Kind of like as bigs, like yeah, you could talk to a parent, but you're not a parent really. It's like you're like just the mentor. You're the mentor, and so like we're really able to speak on those things with each other, get advice, also just to meet really cool people.
Yes.
How do you feel like about, I guess, maybe the direction of the Big Collective and like how far we've come? Because it's been, is this 2 or 3 years, I think, since we started?
Yeah, almost 2 years, which is amazing.
It's just crazy
like
to think about.
By.
Yes.
And like the friendships that have formed, the support around that. And again, like having this common thread of like, we care about youth, we want to make an impact.
Yeah.
Like this is like the reason why we're here in the first place. And then these like beautiful connections like forming from that, and with that at kind of the forefront, it's been just really cool to be a part of, and yeah, I love the collective. I love it so much. It's been something so special to me, to be able to just like hang out. We like love getting food. We're like also people at the end of the day. That's a very important part.
True. Yes.
And so we love like being able to like balance the complexities that we are as individual people, and then having this common thread and just all of the beautiful, variety that has come with that has been just so cool. And people being able to use like different strengths that they have to be able to bring different experiences to other bigs and other littles has been just so special as well. So it's just been such like an empowering place to be, with other people who care, who are like in their place of genius, their place of magic, and just really shining. You know, again, it's just very magnetic. It's very empowering. It's very exciting. Yeah. And it's just, again, that mentoring snowball just keeps getting bigger. And I love it. And it's been just such a joy. Like I can't like not tell other people about what I'm doing. And, but I'm also just like having an amazing time.
Thank you.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, you're not just talking about just
Thank
here.
you. No, I'm having a good time here too. But
So, to wrap up, what advice would you give for someone who would be looking to become a big like us? If they're like, oh, I don't know, you guys seem so awesome, and I don't know if I could be that awesome.
It's just natural. No, I'm kidding. I wish it was just natural. What I would have to say is, as much as I think a lot of us like go into these places of making change because we've had hurt, right? Or there's something that we're looking to heal, right? And we want to be that, what we didn't have. But I think the most important thing that you can be as becoming a mentor is not just being a mentor for your past self, but being the mentor that your little needs.
Yeah.
And you do that by spending time with them, getting to know them, being curious about them, and just having a heart of care at the forefront. And with that, I think that naturally allows you to become shaped to be the mentor that they need, not necessarily the mentor that you might have needed. So, yeah. I think that Big Brothers Big Sisters has really set us up for success and mentorship.
True.
And with the amount of support that they provide, with the community now of other bigs coming together, and just really the fun and caring environment that it is, I feel like you are going to be successful, and just know that you got this.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We got this. We got this.
Yeah. How about
Also,
you?
shout out to our match support specialists.
Yes, our match support
also,
specialists. They're amazing.
Absolutely amazing people. If you have any questions, you can just reach out to them.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have the Big Collective and other bigs, and there's a lot
so
of
many
support.
resources.
True.
There's the board now, the message board.
Yes.
There's the email newsletters that we get. That like everyone here at Big Brothers Big Sisters is like here to rally, support, cheer on, like be connected. You can't go wrong here. So how about you? I want to hear about you. What's something that you, as the big of the year last year, such a big honor.
What would I say?
But
what would I say?
Yeah, what would you?
I see. Okay,
I got you. I got
props,
the soundboard.
props for that one. I was like, what? And I was like, oh yes, a big honor.
I got you.
I would say, I think with as intense, crazy as things are now, one thing that makes the biggest impact is how we impact like future generations, right? And I think a lot of people have doubts of like, well, I don't know, how am I going to mold this person or whatever, even with all of the support and everything. But really, it just takes that like one-on-one to make potentially 10 times, 100 times more the difference. And I think that's what a lot of kids, I mean, even adults, but like the kids need as well, is just someone, I think right now, to just be like, hey, life is just crazy. Like, it's not you. It's just things are weird right now. But like, we're going to like kind of get through this together. Even if I don't have all of the answers or whatever, just like having that kind of like that harbor or that shelter in the storm kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, once we get through it and, then we move on, then all right, cool. Now let's go like do other things or whatever. We can focus on other things. I think it's a small commitment because, we always talk about when you look at the time you spent on everything else, like Netflix or whatever, like for 2 hours every other week, could you just go hang out with a kid who just kind of needs someone to just be there? I feel like it's a very small ask for the impact that one, you give, but you also get back in that moment. And like you said, and you quoted that one guy, if you don't do anything, there's 100% chance that nothing will change. But if you do even just a little bit, just show up, like the impact you can make is huge. So that is what I would say. So if you are interested in becoming a big by just doing a little bit, with all of the support as well, all you have to do is to go to either ocbigs.org, or if you're in the Inland Empire, iebigs.org. We made it like super easy. There's no way you can mess it up. You got this. I believe in you. And if you sign up, you may get to meet one of us or both of us when you sign up for your onboarding and everything. And also the enrollment specialists and our match support specialists are top-notch. They're
incredible
very good.
Support.
Yes, they will basically hold your hand through the whole process to make sure that you get everything that you need. All of the things that you need to be successful will be given to you because they're amazing people.
there's a community, and we want you to be a part of it. If you're ready to make that impact, and you're ready to have the support behind you, like, it is so easy even just to get information, start to meet people. We're here to answer questions and start to build that community with you, even before you for sure said yes or no to moving forward. It's just such a bright light, and it's something you don't want to miss out on. And that's the end of our big takeover.
See you next time.